Okay, where is it? It's over here. Okay. Down below, I've given you a link of a channel I stumbled onto. Pretty small channel, but it's really interesting. If you've wondered, let's say, and I don't care what your opinion is, one way or the other, it doesn't matter. Whatever you believe, that's up to you. As far as the pandemic or this Ukraine thing, where you fall on this or whatever, that's up to you. But if you've kind of wondered, it's kind of interesting how you can get the masses fired up on something, get them on board, and now they're kind of supporting something that you didn't think they would support. And maybe you're of that. You didn't think you would support something. Now here it is, you're supporting this thing. And I'll just leave it at that. If you kind of wonder, wow, this is kind of, how did this come about? How did you get all these people to move in that direction? And this, the video, the guy, basically it's about propaganda. He's in Russia. He's an Englishman. He's been there 20 years. And the Ukraine thing happens to be his topic he's using, but you could use this towards any other thing. You can use this towards anything. He is in, this is not his main gig, but I think he's a public relations guy. He explains what he does. But this is something he is knowledgeable about as far as how propaganda is used. Not that complicated. He explains it, but it's really interesting, I thought. Especially through something, I didn't think you could really reach so many people through an article. I always thought, I'm always very visual if I see something. Now, if someone told me a story about, it's a sad thing, that I read it, I might not be as compelled to. Basically, you're taking in data, whether it was the written word or a video, alters your state of mind. You've got an emotional state of mind because now you've seen something, you want to do something, it hurts you inside, whatever the case is. You got an emotion that you now have to deal with, and it opens you up to manipulation. You're kind of in an open, raw state, and someone can step in there and manipulate you. And so that's kind of what the propaganda is used for. And I won't confuse it any more than that. I think this guy has about 20 videos, found it about 2 weeks ago. I think I've watched all of them. You might go back to the start to get a better idea of what he's talking about. But as far as how they use propaganda, and how he calls it propaganda bingo, I think. He says you could start reading something and use his little system and just pick it off and check the boxes and come up with a conclusion of, okay, yeah, this is straight up propaganda. But it's just interesting how he explains it, because this is someone who I believe does this in a sense. He knows this topic. If other people like myself, we talk about things, but we're not necessarily trained in this area. I believe this man is. He is in Russia. He's an Englishman. He speaks the language. Anyhow, I call it propaganda 101, but very interesting. You might find it useful and especially since this is now standard operating procedure. The next big thing will happen, and the same propaganda machine will be start up and get people moving where they want people to move to. I hate to say it, but we're just sheep. We're just sheep. I honestly, I don't know how, because we all carry these phones around. We have this instant tool where they can reach us, where they can use their propaganda on us, get those emotions going, and then manipulate us. I really don't see how we can turn this around. What I've learned in the past 6 months, it just presses me and scares me all at the same time. But that's life. Anyhow, check it out. Oh, the channel is called, very typical title here, Truth in the News. And he actually explains that too. But the title is called Truth in the News. That's a channel. The guy's name is Sam Gerrans. I found it very entertaining and very educational. Like I said, Truth in the News. Check it out. And you might find it useful, since now it's the way everything's going to operate. Love you. God bless.